Hey everybody, Chris Gill here, and let's talk about drum samples. My first introduction to drum samples was with Slate Trigger 2, and the reason I bought it was all wrong. At the time, I had an okay drum set, I had very low budget microphones in a completely untreated room, and recording drums was a nightmare. And so I bought Trigger thinking, I can replace my drums and have a studio quality drum kit. And so I got Trigger, I loaded it up, and I started replacing my drums. And they never sounded natural, they never sounded right, and that's because I was using them incorrectly. Samples exist really to enhance the drum sound you've already recorded. Your overall drum sound comes from your overhead microphones. That's the bread and butter of your drum sound. If what happens is you've got an overhead sound going on and then you completely replace your close mics, they're gonna sound mismatched. They're not gonna sound right. They're not gonna sound blended. What I've learned is you have to blend those sample sounds with your recorded sounds. So what that means is you've got to get a semi-decent recording done first, and then you add the samples to it, and then you kind of blend them in just to give your kit some extended functionality. Think of them as add-ons, not as replacements. So let's take a look at what I mean. So here I've got this song, and let's get rid of the samples. So here is the drum kit as I would just mix it in a song. So let's take a listen to this. Let's turn on these effects here so we can kind of hear what's going on. All right, so that's not bad. As I was mixing this kit in the context of the song, because I never mix anything soloed out, what I found was I wanted the snare to be bigger. I needed a fatter decay on that. So when the drummer hits that snare, it's got this big pop. And then the kick drum to me, it sounded a little flabby. Let's listen to that again one more time. So I'm going to turn the kick drum up. So it's not bad, but it's not great either. So what I did then is I used Trigger. I copied this track over. I put Trigger on it, found a good sample I like, printed that sample to a new track, and then what I did is I bring that kick up to kind of enhance that kick sound. And so here's now what this kick sounds like with a sample. So again, it just fills in kind of what was missing from the kick for me. I'm not using it, you know, I've still got this original kick here in the mix, fairly loud, and then this other kick just kind of comes up underneath that to give it a little boost, a little something extra to kind of, again, fill in that low end, to give me a little bit more of that punch. So same thing with the snare. I copied the snare, put Trigger on it, printed the Trigger samples to a new track, and then again, I just really bringing those up underneath the drum sound to support that snare drum. So I'm going to bring this all the way down, I'm going to play this back, and I'm going to slowly bring it up to where it was. So as you can hear, I intentionally picked a sample that was a little higher pitched because his snare was pretty high pitched, and it sounds like it fits with the rest of the kit. And that's the other really important thing. You've got to pick samples that sound like they belong with the drum kit that you're trying to enhance. Let's listen to this again. I'm going to start it without the samples, and then I'm going to add the samples back in just so we can kind of hear how those are affecting the overall mix. So I hope this helps give you a little better grasp of, you know, how to use samples, to how to blend them in with your original drum tracks to make them sound as natural as possible. Again, my name's Chris Gill. It's been fun making this. Be sure to subscribe to the channel below. Feel free to leave comments, like the video, share it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.